Hi, this is Pamela Royce, and we're under the spotlight. Today we're talking with Dave Williams, who leads the band, the Magic Bullet Theory. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Pamela.
Could you tell me what the name of the band means, if it has a meaning?
Well, a lot of people think of the Kennedy assassination conspiracy. You yourself, you were thinking of werewolves when we talked to, and it's my metaphor for the impossible.
The impossible.
If you've ever seen that thing, like the Magic Bullet Theory, like the guy, Jim Garrison, the prosecuting attorney, he brought out this big diagram, and it was two bodies, President Kennedy and the governor of Texas, and one bullet went through two bodies 7 times. And that's just impossible. And I was applying it to a band situation I dreamed about having, and Magic Bullet Theory is what I came up with.
So you're doing the impossible with your music?
Well, not the impossible with my music. That sounds really crazy, but I don't. All musicians are a little, but I'm not quite there.
It's just more fanciful. It's creative. It's really creative.
Well, the thing is, like, you can get lost in a normal band situation where you have, say, a lead singer, and I'll put it this way: everybody knows who Bruno Mars is, but nobody knows who Bruno Mars' bass player is, and that really bugged me. As you have this cat in front with this ego and everything, and you're one of the guys, keeping this thing together. And quite frankly, all this fool can do is sing. And like, I love singers, but come on, man.
Well, tell me about your background. How early in your life did you discover that you might like to be a professional musician? I mean, do you come from a family where everybody plays an instrument, everybody sings?
It's a funny thing. I am the only musician in my family. Other people in my family dearly love music. Like my grandfather, he had a little organ, and before I was around, I heard he had a guitar, like a big old jazz box Les Paul type thing, because he loved Wes Montgomery. He couldn't play a lick. And I guess there was kind of an affinity. Wes was from the Midwest. My grandfather settled in Illinois after World War II. And they both worked in steel mills. Wes Montgomery was a steel worker before he was a guitarist. And he couldn't play, but he loved it. And I guess my father tried to play some bongos or whatever, couldn't really.
So you didn't get it from them. Where did you get it?
My mother is an artist. She's a painter. And my aunts really, really loved music. I'd sit around and look at their record collection back when, having a stereo was like this thing. Now it's people's iPod on a dock or their computer is playing or whatever. And it used to be this shrine to art that people used to have. Like it was a piece of furniture in your house. And people had spectacular record collections, and my aunts and my mom did especially, so I could flip through the old album. I used to watch the label go around on the record, and there were certain ones I'd see, and like it would kind of denote quality to me. So there weren't a lot of jazz sides that came later, but like there was always Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and people like that, Al Green, James Brown, some gospel. I just like music, like I knew I liked music. Well,
what was your first experience with an instrument, and how did you happen to choose this instrument?
Oh, this right here.
Right. Why the trumpet? Why not the piano or ukulele? Or how did you end up choosing the trumpet, or did the trumpet choose you, or did one fall off a truck, or?
You know.
How did you end up with a trumpet?
Well, when I was 8 years old, I was a third grader. I grew up in Long Beach, California, and there was a school assembly, and these cats came by. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say cats, I mean people, not actual cats. Anyway, these cats came, they came in with all these different instruments for the kids to see and try, and they demonstrated them first, and then they at the end of the assembly, they let us all come up and,
you could touch them.
You could touch the bed, like, I don't know if it's because, I'm a little boy and there's some weird genetic, inherent, violent, whatever, it looked like a sword. And, I kind of, I held it, it was really heavy, like, it was kind of like this size, and like I was a 8-year-old runt, like,
with little spaghetti noodle arms, right? And it felt heavy.
It used to
like a medieval sword.
Yeah, and I kind of and I just kind of pulled it out. Like, you ever see that old cartoon? Where the I guess it's Arthur or whatever, and he pulls Excalibur out of the stump. And like even right now, it feels like it's a part of my body.
That's interesting.
It's a Linus thing. Like I like that character. This is my safety blanket.
You fit each other.
Right.
You just fit each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So you ran right out and bought a trumpet?
No. If I have to do that, and please, anybody watching, please, like, watch my lips. If I had to go out and buy a trumpet, I would never be playing, and you wouldn't hear me play tonight. Because kids nowadays have it hard. There's all kinds of drives to get refurbished instruments or new cheap instruments or whatever, because you're spending $150 a month to rent an instrument. That's food, that's gas. And I was joking with a friend today, like, hey, you want to push, football or whatever, make that tight end a flute player too.
Good idea. Good idea. Include them in music.
They're priorities, man.
So how did you actually acquire your first instrument, or at least your first lesson? Where did you pick it up?
Well, it wasn't after that assembly, because that school did not have a music program. I switched to another school the next year, 4th grade. I had almost kind of forgot about it because, like, out of sight, out of mind. I'm a 4th grader. There's kickballs and stuff. And then 2 of my friends, they had signed up for the music program at school, and I hadn't known about it. And they told me about, hey, man, you get to get out of regular class or whatever. And of course, I was sold on that. And, and they were playing trumpets. And of course, I remember I liked the trumpet. And I had to struggle. Actually, that's really, really good compared to what I could do in 1982. But, it's really hard. I was blue in the face, as blue as I possibly could have been, and...
it takes a lot of air to get through there, right?
Nowadays, I've kind of got it licked, like I can barely run down the block, but I can play this all night.
So did you stay in the music program all through school?
There was a little break. Like I said, my junior high school or middle school, they didn't have a music program, so I didn't play 8th and 9th grade, and I picked it back up in the 10th grade when I finally went to high school. And those 2 friends, they were still playing trumpet.
Oh my gosh.
And neither of them play today.
Oh.
But
well, I hope they listen to you.
Oh no, like that's a whole nother interview.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, explain something to me, because I took piano lessons, okay? But a piano has, so many keys, and if you want a C or an E or a G, you just punch that one little thing.
Right.
We only have a couple seconds left, but how do you get all those keys out of 3 buttons on the top of this?
Okay.
I don't understand it.
We'll try to do this as quickly as possible, and I think I really need to take this apart.
No, let's just go.
Okay.
Roll it.
A trumpet has 3 different valve positions. You know, one position is open. This is 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, and 1, 2 and 3.
Oh, so it's kind of like a pin number, like in a pin number on an ATM or something, that there are all these different number combinations.
Yes, and then there's also lip action. You know, there's a airflow and a buzzing action within the cup.
How?
And there's what you call an embouchure, the way you actually set your lips on the mouthpiece. So you could actually play anything.
There's really a lot to learn.
You know,
oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, this just...
with that piece. That's really interesting. How many people are in your band?
I think we have 6 tonight, but I usually have 7 people in my band. 2 horns, including myself, a vibraphone player, a percussionist, guitar, bass, and drums.
What kind of venues do you normally play in here in Southern California?
Well, wow.
Assuming it's Southern California, or do you go all over the country?
Well, we're mostly based around Southern California, and like any place that you can make the money right for us to show up, we will try to make that happen. But it's mainly around the Southern California area. We're based in Long Beach, so a lot of OC gigs, a lot of LA gigs, and as far as venues, regular nightclubs, you know, but we've been trying what we call the alternative venue. God, there's so much stuff in there, you know, about the whole, but
I know most people in entertainment have their art. They also have a survival job that keeps sort of the rent money coming in and so on. And if you have that many people who have their art and they also have their survival jobs, how do you get together to practice? I mean, is it kind of hard, or do you just sort of pick up at midnight, you know, in the garage and try not to bother the neighbors?
Can I tell you folks a secret, since you're my good friends? My band never practiced.
Really?
The drummer we have tonight has never played with us.
Oh my God.
This will be his first gig with us.
And that's kind of the nature of jazz, isn't it? That it kind of is created in the moment.
You know, if the bass player can't play that Metallica gig, you will not see Metallica that night.
Wow.
But
okay.
if you're a jazz musician who, you know, no offense, may be of a different, you know, sort or caliber of musician, you could throw that guy in.
You love your art. I can tell you love your art. Okay, we're going to hear Dave Williams and the Magic Bullet Theory in just a moment.